All right, let's pop these down for a moment and let's see what we have. Okay, straight up, just looking at this, there's a decision that you guys have been called to make, and it's a new direction that you're looking to go towards, and it's something that you've been weighing up for a while. That's kind of like coming through straight away, and it's kind of coming up. I think the end of April is where it's crunch time. It's like now it's like sink or swim time. Like you're just ready to go. Whatever happens, you've kind of weighed it up too much. You've gotten to that point where it's like, I need to do something. I need to go in a different direction now. But that was like that's the energy that hit me straight away as soon as I saw the cards. Underlying energy, we have the Fool. So this is a major new life cycle beginning, but it's 0. It's not number 1 in the major arcana. It's 0. Why is that? Because this is where we're planning to go again. You know, we're planning to start a new cycle. The card before this, and it's a cycle, right? The major arcana is a cycle, is the World, and that's the successful completion of one cycle. And this is where we decide, okay, I'm going to start a new journey. I'm going to go in a new direction. And he doesn't have anything with him, or he has his little knapsack, but he doesn't have a map. He doesn't have anything else with him. He has loyalty. He has support with this little dog that's always with him. But he stands on the edge of this cliff and he kind of surveys the area and thinks, okay, I'm going forward. He doesn't know what he's going to find on this trip. He doesn't know what he's going to experience, but he's in it for the experience. As long as it's something new, he's gung-ho and he's ready to go. But he has a level of trust that he needs to go on this journey because, like I said, he doesn't have a map, but he doesn't need to trust what's to come. It's not that sense of, you know, well, I'm only going to go if X, Y, and Z happens to me. No, this is about, I'm going to go forward. I don't need to trust what comes in my path. I can trust myself. I've just completed a cycle. I have the knowledge from that. I always think that's what he has in his knapsack. Just what he takes from that, what he's learned from what he's been through. That's going to be enough for me to go on this journey. So major new, I mean, it might not be that the actual start begins at the second half of April, but you're getting ready to go. That's what's coming up here. You're getting ready to start this. Now, that's why the Two of Wands is at the heart of the reading. Now, the Two of Wands, it says the path that you've been on, it's ended. It's gone. It's finished. Whatever you've been doing for work, for love, whatever it is. And this kind of feels, like I said, this is a major life cycle. This is all areas of your life. Whatever it is that you've been doing, you just know, I don't exactly know where I'm going, which direction I'm going in, but I know I'm not going back because that path's gone. I can stand here and I can stay stuck in where I am, but you're not ready to do that either. The Fool talks about a leap of faith, and that's what the Two of Wands is kind of saying. That, you know, we can get stuck sometimes dithering, saying, am I making the right choice? Am I making the wrong choice? What's going to happen if I go down that path? And the Fool, remember, it's a leap of faith. He knows he'll be able to make it work no matter what happens. He knows if he falls off the edge of that cliff, he will land on his feet. That's what the Two of Wands says. The Two of Wands says, even if in not making a decision, if you just stand there and keep looking at the two paths ahead of you, even that in and of itself is a choice, right? A choice to not make a choice, a choice to not move forward. But I don't feel like that's an option right now. This is about going in a new direction. It's a new direction. You can course correct at a later date. A lot of the times we don't make choices or decisions because, you know, we're afraid of the consequences. We're afraid of the consequences, that, you know, what's going to happen if I do this? And it kind of feels like you've been kind of weighing up the pros and cons of making this decision for a while. We have the Two of Pentacles coming up as the foundation or the past energy. Look at this guy. It's like, could he make it any harder to juggle those two pentacles? He's not even standing on firm ground. He's standing on these kind of rocks. And they're probably slippery from all of that seawater behind him. And he's up on one leg and he's juggling these two pentacles. Some of you may have been taking on too much, juggling two jobs. You know, it might be too much that juggling two relationships, some of you. But, you know, it's now a decision, a big decision that needs to be made. And you've done the kind of practical stuff. This is focusing on the practical pros and cons of a situation. But when we do that, we only look at that. And we can be kind of, we can only be focused on what's the practical choices, what's going to be like for a job, what pays the best and stuff. Now, the one that pays the best might not be the one that makes you the happiest. But if we're looking at stuff like that, we're going to miss out on the bigger picture. And what the Two of Pentacles says is put down one of the pentacles, take a step back, or turn around in his case. Look at what's coming in on the sea behind him. What's the bigger picture here? How does this fit in everything else that's going on in your life? And where does that lead? Well, it feels like this kind of toing and froing, weighing up the pros and cons, trying to decide which direction to go in, it's become a burden. It's become a huge burden. We have the 10 of Wands here. But what I always like to say about this card, and people don't like to hear it, is that no one's forcing this guy to carry those wands. No one's forcing him. There's no one else there. There's no one with a whip making him climb up those steps with the wands. They're not tied to him. He's holding on to them and he's carrying them. Why? Because you've done the whole cycle. As much as I think, like, the Fool kind of implies that, you've completed a major life cycle. There's one burden left here. And I kind of feel it's the burden of the choice that you're facing right now. It feels like you have 2 different directions at least that you could go in. I believe that, every future exists in potentiality right now. This is always the point of power. I know when people do the tarot and they look at this, to them, they love the future. What's going to happen in the future? But why would you care about that? Because you can make that happen. You can decide whatever happens here. And the cards always give us advice on how we can go forward and what it is, what's the best kind of action that we can take, or to empower ourselves and to go forward as empowered beings. Right now, it's putting down the burden. And I feel like the burden for you is just to pick a direction, any direction. You'll make it work. You will make it work. But also, it's wrapping this up. Because think about it. If you're going to go on this new journey, if you're going to go like he's traveling very light. He's only got a knapsack here. This guy's not going to get very far with this. So it feels like there's one final destination that you're hitting. And someone once said that this looks like the tower in this. It does kind of look like the tower in this. Let me just hold it up so you can see it. It does look like the tower. But it's like you're going there, and maybe he's going back to the scene of the crime. That always looks like blood on the side there. You're going back there. You're going to drop that load off, leave it behind, and then you can go forward. You can go charging forward in the case here. But that's what the advice is here, that whatever this burden is that you're carrying, it's time to drop it off because you're getting ready to go on a new journey. For some of you, it may be a literal journey. I always focus on the core energies of the cards because it's a general reading, right? So you can apply, it's going to play out differently for every single person. But some of you might be thinking about literally moving on to a different area, going to a different place. I mean, why has this guy got his back turned to the sea? Are you being called to a different country, a different town, a different city, somewhere else? But once you're free of this burden, you can fly. You have the Prince of Swords, who's the Knight of Swords coming up here. Now, some of you may be dealing with an air sign who's Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, or, someone that has those qualities. But I think this is you. What does the Knight of Swords do? Well, he knows what he believes. He knows what he thinks. He's very clear on his ideals and he's willing to go into battle and fight for this. He goes charging forward. This is spontaneous action. This is the opposite of this. This is, I don't know what to do. I'm going to focus on the day-to-day choice. And sometimes we're forced to do this. We don't do this out of choice. Like sometimes we're forced to. If say you're planning on moving house or moving to another country or traveling or something, you need to make sure that your house is in order first, right? And I think, who was it? Virgo got a similar message to that. And it kind of feels like that's what's happening. You're putting down the burden and then you can fly forward. Spontaneous energy. This guy speaks his truth. Now, it can be that somebody comes into your life like this. Someone comes charging into your life and out of nowhere. They're coming out of nowhere and they help you to make that decision. But I don't always say we can't rely on that. We shouldn't rely on other people to come in or to do whatever. We make that decision. And is it because they come in and we make the decision, or do we make the decision and then whatever help we need or challenges we need, do they come in? But this person's not going to have a problem making a decision. He's very clear on what he thinks and which direction he wants to go in. So what's the added advice here for that? Well, we have the Queen of Pentacles coming up as the advice card. She is reliable. She's dependable. She knows how to create great abundance. Look at her. She's surrounded by fruit and she has this huge pentacle here. She's surrounded by abundance. She's created all of that. And so, if this is coming up for your energy, it's saying that you're very grounded. It's grounding yourself in what you want. Putting down, she doesn't have 2 pentacles. She has this one huge pentacle here. She knows what her security and stability is. She knows what she needs to get to feel secure, to feel stable. Anything she takes on, she's going to make sure she sees it through to the end. I mean, this guy can go charging in sometimes. But if he has a change of thoughts, a change of his truth changes, he'll go charging off in a different direction, not her. she's in it for the long run. She's going to see it through to the end. But that combination is pretty lethal. To go in with that kind of clarity of thought and truth, you know, just wanting the truth. This is who I am. This is what I believe. This is what I'm going to do. And that's what motivates him to pick a path. To have that and then have the backing of a Queen of Pentacles. So again, it could be earth energy for some of you, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. To have all of that, you can achieve anything with that, right? I think the hardest part here is to get that stone rolling, like to that first push, deciding which path to pick. That's kind of where you are this second half of April. Some of you might say, but I know what I want. Well, you know, if sometimes even when we know what we want, we don't know how to get started. We don't know how to get started on that. And that's kind of where this is. And the Fool saying it'll be a leap of faith. There are never any guarantees. Well, there are never any guarantees in life anyway. Especially when other people's free will is involved. And how often are we in situations where other people's free will is not involved? But we go by what we want. By having faith in ourselves. 10 of Cups. And that's sometimes when we're standing where we are. And I always say, like, focus on the moment. Focus where you are right now. But also, it's knowing where do you want to be. And this is knowing what your happily ever after looks like. Now, this might be reunions, groups of people, families, celebrations even. This can be sometimes a marriage card. But it's that knowing what does my happily ever after look like. And then to go charging towards it. Because you have to know what is the end game? Where's the end goal? What does it look like? If you're busy doing this and you're not doing that now, this is the past energy foundation. You're only going to look at what's right in front of you. But he kind of sees this and he's like, well, that's my belief. That's what I want. I'm going to go. And she's going to make sure you get there. Get to that end result. Okay. 6 of Wands, victory card. These cards are coming up a lot. The same kind of cards are coming up. So 6 of Wands, victory. Hold your head up high with pride. Again, this could be someone traveling. The Fool. I am getting that energy of like some people thinking, like looking overseas even. But the 6 of Wands, it's holding your head up high. Look at what I've done. And this is not waiting for other people to acknowledge you. You come riding into town with the victory wreath saying, hey, guys, look what I did. It's taking pride in what you've done. It's recognition. It's success. There we go. The World. Completion. What did I say? It's the card before the Fool. And again, a victory wreath. Guys, you know, sometimes we can go through cycles and they can be the most grueling crap that we've ever had to put up with. You know, the work's been a shambles. We might have got laid off or in a relationship might have ended, or we've just had bad day after bad day after bad day. But, you know, you can be guaranteed once you've dated 10 losers, you know what a winner looks like. If at the very least, those 10 will have showed you that, you know, this is what my happily ever after looks like, not what those guys were offering. So we learn out of that. We get the lessons that we need to out of that. And that's what the world is saying. That, you know, it's a successful completion, but we've completed that cycle. Enjoy your success. Enjoy hold your head up high with pride. You've done this. But let's not stand there dithering and deciding which path to go on now. It's time for that new beginning. Right, let's see what the oracle cards are saying. How can we expand on these energies? Well, there you go. True love. This is the romance of a lifetime. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? And the thing is, if you're in the 10 of Cups here, you're happily ever after, if that's what it looks like, right? If it looks like true love, then why are you doing a balancing act with maybe someone who's not right for you? Or if the person that you're with is your true love, then again, why are you doing the balancing act of not going further with this? Because even if you're in a relationship and it's perfect, like, you know, that's your person, feels like it needs to go forward a step. Whatever cycle you guys were in, that's done. There's a new beginning coming in for you guys. Time to take it in a new direction. The only thing that is real is love. Shift your focus from the problem back to love. And the 2 of Pentacles can show that, right? These could be the problems. Well, this is the problem. That's the problem. They live too far, or they're not the right person, or they've not said how they feel, or, you know, that kind of thing. But the love would be the emotional aspect, the bigger picture. And again, the Knight of Swords only knows what he believes. The Queen of Pentacles is very clear on what her abundance is. And she shares that. Whatever bounty she has, she shares it with other people. She works that hard for her loved ones. She makes everything look easy. Now, TikTok, I kind of, in this spread, I'm kind of seeing is it's time. That's what I'm getting, that it's time. But this card actually doesn't talk about that. What it talks about is sometimes that we can put pressure on ourselves to go, like, to do something. I'm running out of time. I need to do this. I need to do that. Well, if that's been the path that you've been on and you kind of think, well, this hasn't happened on that path, then maybe the answer is to change paths. This actually says, and it's what I believe as well, that there's no real past, present, future. The only point of power is right now. What's the burden that you're carrying right now? Because when you drop that, that's what lightens you up to move ahead, to go forward. And it says, dearest you have a unique purpose and destiny that only you can fulfill. But first you need to know that destiny isn't a destination. You don't arrive at some special place where poof, you're perfect and happy all the time. It's about establishing and firming up a commitment to a certain experience. That's the Fool. I'm loving how the postcards from Spirit are really tying in this time with, especially the underlying energy. So it says, it's about establishing and firming up a commitment to a certain experience, whatever form that takes. Your soul knows what you need to experience. Your destiny is to be present to all of life's adventures, to discover your talents and full potential through allowing inspiration to lead you, and to risk standing apart from the crowd, to listen to your soul. You are special as much as you are also paradoxically one with the world, individual yet part of a great whole. Both truths have led you to this moment where we are saying you are on the right track, even if your ego self doesn't see that. Listen to your soul. Check in with Spirit. Keep going. Spirit loves you. Life loves you. We love you. So yeah, that is about the journey, guys. It's about going on this journey, and it's your unique journey, and it's going to be all about that experience. But what is the experience that you want? Yes, we want the 10 of Cups at the end, but he knows how he feels in the moment. What is it that I believe right now? And that's going to help you pick that path forward.